I get a call from LAROI and Justin. I answer the phone, and there's Justin. They were like, yo, send the files. We want to record it right now.
That's crazy.
And I was like, whoa, what's happening? This is going to be the biggest song.
Slatkin, whose nominations include Record of the Year and Album of the Year.
Dropping major tracks. Kid LAROI, 24K Golden, Lil Nas X, Miley Cyrus.
The songwriting wizard, the Grammy governor, he a chart topper, titan of TikTok, record producer and songwriter Blake Slatkin.
I had my first 3 number ones at my mom's house.
That's
so
fire.
like, and I was like, I'm going to be the biggest producer in the world. So I have to be mentored by someone, and Benny hasn't mentored anyone yet. So I'm going to be mentored by Benny. I wouldn't show him music that I made for like the first 3 years that I worked for him.
Wow.
The first thing he said to me, he was like, do you know everything about me? Ed looked at me and he was like, that's going to be you. And I was like, holy, Ed Sheeran believes in me. And I was like, oh my God, I want to hear Juice's new music. And then he plays my guitar riff and then starts singing over it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Holy sh-. No one was thinking like, oh, this song's going to be #1 for 9 weeks.
That's crazy.
Like, I've written like the worst song you've ever heard like 15,000 times. And I still feel like every day I write the worst song ever until there's one that isn't.
How do you know when a song is great?
I do the same thing I told you that I never would.
Super excited. Welcome back to Behind the Wall. We have the one, the only Blake Slatkin. Behind the Wall, the mission of Behind the Wall is to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. And Blake, I've been following your story for a good amount of time now, and it's been so incredible to see. I'm so excited to get into the rest of the mission of this show because your story fits great. But where I would love to start is, for anyone who may not know who you are, what are some of the songs they might know you from?
I mean, there's a couple.
There's definitely more than a couple.
There's a few. Stay, LAROI, Bieber, About Damn Time, Lizzo, That's What I Want, Lil Nas X, Without You, LAROI, Unholy, Sam Smith, Kim Petras. I'm forgetting. There's a couple.
There's so many songs that have connected.
I've been very lucky.
Yeah, but one of the things I'd love to focus on, and just as a starting point, because I think a lot of the creatives think that, and people seem to think that there's like an overnight success kind of thing when they hear about all these hits. But how many songs would you say you had to write until you got the first hit?
Oh, I'm like thousands of like the worst song ever. Like I've written like the worst song you've ever heard like 15,000 times, I think. Like it's unbelievable. And I still feel like every day I write the worst song ever until there's one that isn't.
Does it still take a bit of amount? Because I think Ed Sheeran had this thing, if he like starts a song, he has to finish it. Do you believe in that?
Ed taught me that.
Okay.
I do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He like spooked me on it. So now like I didn't used to do that, but then he told me that and I was like, fuck, okay, well now I guess I gotta.
Yep. You know, I want to jump around all across your story because it's just so incredible. But where I'd love to start is how you got into music and where this all begins for you. So tell me about how you got into music and how you discovered music was for you.
I was always like hearing music in my dad's car, my mom's car. They would always like play great stuff. My mom played piano. There was always like music in the house. I always loved it. And it's weird because I think about it now and like all of my earliest memories have to do with something musically. So like the first time like I heard the Beatles and the first like I kind of like clock how I aged based on like different musical memories. But I remember I went to U2 at the Rose Bowl when I was like 11, I think.
Okay.
And I just picked up a guitar and I watched them and I was like, oh, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is what I have to do. But back then it was like, I want to be a rock star. It wasn't producer because I also didn't know what a producer was.
Yeah.
So like, I wanted to be a rock star. I used to like play shows like the Whiskey A Go-Go here and like School of Rock and all this stuff. And I would like sell tickets to my teachers. And like in the beginning, at like 13, 14, I started playing stuff. And I would like, you know, get up in the beginning of class and be like, hey, if anyone wants to buy a $10 ticket to my show, I'm selling. Because like, obviously no one wanted to come to my fucking show. So I was like, had to sell a certain amount of tickets. So I'd like tell all my parents' friends. And like, I was just like, I was selling stuff at recess. And then, so I was playing in bands for a while.
Okay.
Played in like jazz bands through high school and all that kind of stuff. But that's just because I didn't know what a producer was. So as soon as I knew what a producer was, I was just like, that's it. That's what I have to do.
How'd you find out what a producer was?
I don't remember. I don't really remember. I think it was finding out who Pharrell and Timbaland was. And I'm just like the biggest fan of, I'm still just like the biggest fan of music. I'm the biggest fan of all the artists I get to work with. So when I found out there was a job where you can like work on all these different styles of music with all these different kinds of artists and be behind the scenes, it was like, that's it. That's what I'm going to do.
What were the songs that connected with you the most by those producers that you looked up to?
I don't remember. I'm like the biggest. I love most of their discography. I don't remember. I wish there was like a certain moment that I was like, I heard like Grinding by Clips and was like, that's the thing. But I don't know exactly what it was. I remember loving The Way I Are, Timbaland.
Yes.
I remember hearing that because he was his own artist at that point.
Yes.
So I heard that song and I thought the production was just so ridiculous. And then I was like, oh my God, wait, he did Sexy Back. He did the million songs that he did. And then I went into Pharrell and then I went into Max Martin and that whole pop crew. And then I was just like, okay, that's it. It was really honestly, I think when I found like the pop dudes, I got obsessed with the idea that you could be a person that had songs that it felt like the entire world loved for so long. Like, I think that's the coolest thing ever. I think it's so cool to like make a song with the idea of being like, I want the most people possible to love this. And then the fact that there are these people that can make these songs over and over and over and over and just like continuously like bring the world music that they love and the music that stays. Like, I still can't believe that that's like a job. Like, I don't really understand it still.
So you discovered music production, but how did you start? And was it difficult to start doing to try to like learn about DAWs and like?
Yeah, I think like no matter what, now I think it's way easier, honestly, because there are like better sounds out and there's like better VSTs and better plugins and like stuff that makes it easier to like kind of get going. But then I remember I saw Max and Benny were on Pro Tools. So I was like, okay, I guess I got to be on Pro Tools. So I got Pro Tools. And it's like, for anyone that knows, Pro Tools is like the worst program in history. It's like the actual, like, it could not possibly be like less like intuitive, easy to use. Like, it's almost like they made it like to be hard to use. It's insane. It's the worst thing ever. But I was just like, that's what they use. So I guess I got to use that. I didn't really even know about Ableton or Logic or anything like that. So I started Pro Tools and yeah, I mean, I made like the worst sounding stuff for so long. I feel like as a producer, you're terrible until you're good. And like one day you're like, oh my God, wait, that actually sounds kind of good. But otherwise, like you're just and you have to be cool with it. Like it's hard also because you go into production because you love music and you love music. If you love music, you probably have a pretty good ear for stuff. So your ear always starts out better than your production is. So like, you know what good music sounds like, but you can't make it. So you're just like sitting there being like, I don't understand why my drums can't hit like Timbaland's. I don't understand why my drums aren't hitting like this. Like, why doesn't my stuff sound professional? Because you know what it sounds like, but it just takes like so many hours to get there.
100%. Yeah, you have kind of with Pro Tools and everything like that. Do you feel like that limitation has almost helped you, I guess you could say?
Yes. I've started using a couple other ones now just to see what's up because a lot of my friends are on them and I felt like, okay, I gotta do this. But yes, I do like that now using Pro Tools. I feel like it's so slow and so dumb and so bad that you have to be like, this is what I'm doing next. This is my idea. I'm doing this. This is my idea. I'm doing
very
this.
Intentional.
It's very hard to like throw paint at the wall. With like Ableton and Logic, it's very easy to just be like, oh, sure, reverse it, speed it up to 20 BPM, do this, blah, 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 blah. And it's like anything can kind of happen, which is a good thing for some people. For me, I think like that gives me too many possibilities sometimes. And I get like decision paralysis. And like with Pro Tools, I get to be like, that's what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do.
So you talked about a lot of like the pop producers, right? Mm-hmm. And one of them you just brought up, Benny. Mm-hmm. He's a big part of your story, is that right?
Probably one of the biggest, yeah.
Tell me about how he gets involved in your story.
So I was just like the biggest fan of Benny. I found Max and Stargate and all those like huge pop producers. And then I found Benny, and Benny was like this like younger kid who's like so funny and so much fun. And I would just like watch every interview. And I saw that Max had been mentored by Dennis Pop, and like there was a kind of this big chain of mentorship in pop producers. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to be the biggest producer in the world, so I have to be mentored by someone. And Benny hasn't mentored anyone yet, so I'm going to be mentored by Benny. I don't know how I had this like
How old were you when you?
I was 16. So
wow.
I was his biggest fan, and I kept trying to find people who knew him. And one day I was like in a weird Instagram hole where like I find myself on like my friend's mom's Instagram. I don't know why, but I'm like 2 years back in my friend's mom's Instagram, and I see she's at like a poker tournament and Benny's in the back, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, she knows him. So I go to my friend and I'm like, you have to ask your mom to get me an interview with Benny. And his mom, who I'm forever grateful to, emails Benny like 40 times. Like, so like she obviously said like, hey, I've got a friend who's great and he'd love to intern for you. And obviously he didn't respond. And then she just like, I kept being like, please just email again. And finally he was like, okay, fine. Like have him come by the studio. And I remember he was at Sunset Sound at the time. I was 16 and I walked in, and I think like the first thing he said to me, he was like, do you know everything about me? And I was like, yeah. He was like, have you seen every interview? And I was like, yes. And then we just talked for like an hour, and we really got along. And he ended up being like, okay, I'm in New York. This is still when he lived in New York.
Okay.
He's like, I'm in New York for the summer. I'm building a studio in LA. Why don't you help my engineer build my studio in LA? And when I get to LA in September, you can hang around the studio. So I built the studio during the summer. I wouldn't see my friends. I would just like work all day, but I loved it more than anything. I loved it. I loved like I got to see all the gear and all the, like, I don't know, all the stuff that like I've never like been around. And he got there in September, and I had like done all my arts requirements for high school. So I convinced my school to let me leave at 12 every day.
Wow.
So I would leave senior year of high school every day to go to Benny's house, which is like the fucking dream. It's like all I want, because every day I would walk in and like, boom, there's Ed Sheeran. Boom, there's, he was making Francis and the Lights' album, who I was such a big fan of. Boom, there's Ryan Tedder. Boom, it's just like, I was in it immediately. And like, I was in it getting coffee for people and getting them sandwiches, and like getting someone like asked me to get like luggage one time for them. Like, I mean, the amount of bullshit that I did was so crazy, obviously, but I was there. And like, I was meeting these people that I had looked up to for so long, and I had like seen all their interviews, and I knew everything about them. And I got to watch them make music, and I got to see like what it's like to be in a studio, what it's like to be in a writing session, how to be, how to be collaborative, how to, I'm just like the entire thing. And I was lucky enough that Benny let me stick around, and I worked for him as an intern for I think 3 or 4 years. And then we kind of just like became best friends.
I love that.
And now he's my best friend. I love him more than anything. He's my big brother, and like actually my family. But that was like the biggest thing ever for me, because it was such a great fast track to seeing like what really goes on.
So you were doing, it sounds like, a lot of like the grunt work at the beginning. Mm-hmm. How long does it take until, one, you started working on music with him, and then two, how long did it take until you even felt comfortable like showing the music that
I
you
wouldn't
were
even
working?
show him music. So I wouldn't show him music that I made for like the first 3 years that I worked for him.
Wow.
Because I was just like, it's not good enough yet, and when I play it for him, it has to be fucking great, because it's like, he always knew that I made music, obviously.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to play him something that I didn't think was great, because I didn't want him to like, I don't know, I just wanted him to believe in me so bad. And I think he always believed in me as a person. And I think my music had to catch up, and it wasn't good at all. So I waited, and finally, I didn't even want to play him music when I actually played him. Finally, he was just like, it got to be like the joke of like Benny would meet new people, or like we'd be with his friends, and he'd be like, you know, Blake has never played me music. And I'd be like, ugh, like, and he would just tell everyone. Everyone would be like, "Why aren't you playing music? Just like play him your stuff." And finally, it just got like there was so much pressure that I was like, "All right, fine." So like, I sat him down. I played him 3 songs that were like cool looking back. They were fine, but they like showed promise, and they showed like, I think he could see like, okay, you can be great one day. And it was a couple years after that, I was started making music with like actual artists, and like not just like, you know, like my high school friends, but I had started making like hearing people on SoundCloud that I loved and started making music with them and having them over to my apartment in New York. I was at NYU at this point. Okay. So I had started working with people, and I started getting recognition for some mini recognition, like some of the artists I was working with, people started to notice. So people started to like notice me because of that. And I think it was around that time that like me and Benny we would just like find stuff to work on. We'd find like, sometimes he would work on stuff that I was working on. He would ask me for ideas for people he was working with. And then ever since we honestly don't even make that much music at this point. We've never made that much music. I think that's good. I think it was important for me to have like my own thing and not just like be like, just do everything that he's doing. But he's one of my favorite people to make music with now.
I love that.
Even though we don't work too much.
The songs that you first showed him, were those songs that you made with other people, or were you on those songs?
Yeah, one of them was like, I think like the first song I ever made, like full song with a different girl. One of my best friends, her name is Charlotte. We made a song called Treading Water that was like not good, but I played him that, and I worked on it for months. I played him, I think that was actually the only one with vocals. The other ones were just beats.
You talked about something earlier. You said that you wanted your music to be great before you showed it to him. How do you know when a song is great?
I think it's so hard to, there's no other way to describe it other than it's a feeling. You just feel it. Like, and you make so many songs, and you've heard so many songs, and to me, the ones that I'm most excited about are the ones that I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I feel like I'm a genuine fan of it. Like, I can't even believe that like I'm a part of it. You know, and I don't really write songs alone. I don't like doing it. So all these songs are songs that I get to make with other people. And, you know, if you're in the studio, you're always kind of excited about something. Like whatever you make, you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And then I always do like the one day test. So like if you wake up in the morning, you're still singing it. And if you wake up the next day and you're still thinking about it, and the next day and the next day, all these songs that I've been lucky enough to be a part of that I feel are great and that luckily have like gone on to have such success were songs that like I can't even believe are on my computer. Like I'm like, I can't even believe that like I get to work on this. Like Picasso used to say, I think something about, I'm going to misquote it, but the most intimidating thing is an amazing start. Because you have this amazing thing and you're like, fuck, now I can't fuck it up. Like, I just don't want to like, I have this thing and I can't believe I'm part of it. And like, now I just got to like make sure I do it justice and not fuck it up. So I think there's no other way to describe it other than it's just like, it's a feeling. You wake up every morning thinking about it. You go to bed thinking about it. You want to play it for all your friends. That's like one of my big markers is like when I have something that I think is great, I want to play it for everyone I know. I'm like, guess what? Like, holy shit, look what we made. Like, I can't even believe it. That's it. It's the same as when you hear a great song. And I get the same feeling, by the way, when I hear a great song that I wasn't a part of. I want to play it for everyone. And I go to bed thinking about it. And I'm like, now, like, I'm lucky enough to be friends with so many people that are making like the best pop music right now. And like, I always say that my favorite songs are the ones that make me be like, oh, fuck you for writing that. Like, oh my God, how did I not do this one? Artists, producers, writers, like, I want to be mad at the person because like, I want to be like, fuck, I wish I wrote that song. Yeah.
What are some songs you wish you wrote? Any come to mind?
Recently? I mean, in history.
Let's go one for history, one recently.
Yeah, I mean, history's impossible because like then I'm just gonna start naming Beatles songs and Bowie songs and like I can't.
Or like somebody that I used to know.
Exactly,
like,
exactly. Recently, pop music that I wish I wrote. I think Please, Please, Please is perfect. It's a perfect song all around. Everything about it's perfect.
Amy Allen.
Shout out Amy, Jack, Sabrina's incredible.
100%.
It's a perfect song. I wish I wrote that.
I love it.
And I hate them for writing it.
I'm a big fan of Espresso. Really love that song.
Same.
So you talked earlier about working with Benny, working as Benny's intern. What is something that you learned from that experience that you take to this day from him?
Keep it natural. Keep it easy. It's like I can sit here and I will sit here and tell you the stories of all these songs that I've been a part of. And like kind of the one thing that they all have in common is that everyone was like comfortable and chilling and didn't think it was going to happen that day. And I think it's very important. I always try to keep the studio a very like comfortable place, because when I first started making music, we didn't have all this pressure on us. It was like not like there was a million labels being like, you got to make a hit. But now there's a lot of pressure always. And a lot of people that I work with have a lot of pressure on them, because it's like, what's the next one? What's the next one? You got to do it again. And I don't think great art gets made that way ever. It's really hard. So I try to make the studio a place that's like, you close the door, you come to my house, and everything fades away. And, you know, obviously I can't do it all the time, but I'm a big like, let's talk for 3 hours. Let's order food. Let's like, I don't even want to feel like we have something to do today. Like, let's just like let it come out. Because I really do think that like the music just like, Chris Martin said something that always sticks with me. He said that anyone who makes music knows that it's not really us making the music. And when he writes something great, it's like something just happens to him. And it's like you black out for 30 minutes or an hour, whatever it is. And then you wake up and you're like, holy shit, I have this thing that I can like, this thing is on my computer and I'm a part of this. What the fuck? Like, we wrote this? What the hell? That's like actually what it is. And I think I really do think, you know, it's corny, but like there's a magic to it. And the magic is so important to keep in the room, instead of just being like, we have to do this, and oh, this kind of stuff is popular right now, so we got to make something like that. And like all that is so important to forget. So I think keeping the studio a place where you can like be free to suck, to make bad decisions, be free to say things that are really meaningful to you and deeply personal, and be honest, and like all of these things I think make the best art. So I think creating an environment where that can happen is very important. So I think that's a big thing that I took from Benny.
I love that. You also, with Benny at one point, you went on tour with like
I went on
Sheeran
tour
and
with
Benny?
Ed Sheeran, yeah.
What was that like?
I mean, I was the biggest fan of Ed, and now I'm lucky enough to write songs with him, and it's crazy to me because I like, you know, I said earlier I was like playing songs at Whiskey A Go Go and like playing shows, like I would cover Ed Sheeran songs.
That's sick.
And he knows that. Obviously, I told him.
Did you show him any of the videos?
I don't know if I could find. I'm sure there's videos out there, but I had been in the studio. Then I got to see what tour was like, and then I also got to see what Ed is like, a once in a generation, not once in a lifetime, fucking artist. He's like one of the greatest songwriters of all time, I think. And to watch how he writes songs and watch his process and his work ethic was very important to me.
What were you doing on tour?
Carrying guitars.
Like tuning them? And
tuning and carrying guitars, like whatever they want, getting coffee, like bullshit. Bullshit, but just hanging around.
Were you there when they watched the Defiant Ones and like that whole thing happened?
So, yes, I was there. And I think one of the most important moments in my entire life was we were watching the Defiant Ones, and they were talking about how Jimmy Iovine was an intern. And we were all like sitting in the bed together watching, like cuddling. And Ed and I weren't that close at this point.
Okay.
Ed looked at me and he was like, that's going to be you. You know, like I was the intern. That was Jimmy. Jimmy was the intern. Like he was like, that's going to be you. And I was like, holy shit. Like Ed Sheeran believes in me. Like what the hell? Like now I can't let him down. Like now I have to do something amazing. Now I have to make a bunch of big music.
Yeah.
And I always, I carried that with me so much, because it's just like, for an artist that you've looked up to for your entire life, being like, you can do it, you don't, like, that like fuels you for a very long time.
Definitely. As you said, Ed Sheeran is a once in a generation, as you said, actually once in a lifetime talent, 100%. What was that like working with him years later on music? And was that nerve-wracking the first time that you work with an artist you look up to, or even a producer that you look up to?
Of course. The process of writing with him, of course I was nervous the first time. But at that point, we had been really good friends, and he had always been like, he was always the first person to congratulate me on stuff.
Love that.
When songs would go big, he would always email me. He only emails. He doesn't have a phone. So he would always email me and congratulate me, and we'd always hang when he was in LA. So it was very natural. And again, like, I really only mostly work with my friends and people who I really like and who like I actually hang out with. And I think, again, back to being comfortable, you want to just be the most comfortable possible. Ed and I started as friends before we even worked. So I think it was very easy kind of to transition into working.
That's great. So you talked about going off to NYU. You started working with a lot of different artists, one of them being Omar Apollo. Was that one of the first artists you felt like, wow, I really believe in?
For sure. Oh my God. I heard him on SoundCloud. I heard this song called Brake Lights and this song called Unbothered.
Sick.
And I was like, this kid is unbelievable. And my friend Dylan, who's like my first manager, started managing him. And we had set up a studio in our basement on Avenue C. I had an apartment with a bunch of my friends. And I was just like, dude, you got to get him in the studio. Like, you got to let me work with him. Like, you have to. Like, I know what to do. Like, I love this guy. I love this guy's music. And we just ended up becoming friends. And we started making songs. A bunch of our songs we made was on his like first EP, and those were like my first releases. I had never had like releases with an artist.
Wow.
And like I had never like had my stuff on Spotify. So like kind of my first stuff that ever came out on Apple or Spotify or anything was that Omar stuff. And I don't know, I always just like had a feeling about him. I always just thought he was so captivating, and he was like one of those people who walks into a room and the room changes when he walks in. And it was just, even back then when he had no success.
Yeah, his story's crazy.
His
like
story's
learning
insane.
to sing from YouTube.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and he was living in attics, and like he was like making music in his attic, and like he like really started from nothing and came into all this. But he always had this like, he just had this thing. I don't know. He had this thing when you're around him, and you kind of only understand once you know him. But when you're around him, you get it. You're like, oh, this kid's a fucking star. And so we started making music then. I come home from class at NYU and like make music all night with him. I don't think he wasn't going to college at this. He would travel from Indiana to New York sometimes to record. And yeah.
So you write all these songs and you've made so many, but one of the most viral songs ever was a song you were a part of and went super viral on TikTok, Mood. How did that song come about?
I had met Golden and Omar and KBZ in a session the week before everything shut down in COVID. And our first session, we were all like, oh my God, holy shit. Like, this is fun. Like, we can make good music together. And everything shut down. We didn't see each other for like 3 weeks. And then we were like, fuck this. Like, we got to do this. So I would pick them up in my car every day because I was like too scared of them like taking Ubers for COVID. So I would like pick them up in my car. They'd come to my house. We'd make music. And we started making a bunch of stuff. It was really like such a crazy time in my life because we all became so close, and we were just like fucking around. Like, we were just like really stupid, dumb like kids and like doing dumb kid shit. But music kept like coming out of it that was great, that we loved. And I remember we had Mood, and you know, at the time, like obviously Mood was my first hit. And at the time, no one was thinking like, oh, this song's going to be #1 for 9 weeks.
That's crazy.
Like, obviously, no, like we'd never had hits. Golden had a couple songs that were pretty big. So I remember sitting at lunch with everyone being like, you guys, I really think this one's going to get 100 million streams. And everyone's like, I don't know. And then we were like, no, this one's the best one. This one's going to get 100 million streams for sure. And we were like, dude, if we could get 100 million streams, like, that'd be the craziest fucking thing. Like, obviously, no one's sitting there being like, all right, number 1 9 weeks, we got this. And I remember it came out and it just started going crazy viral on TikTok. It's like one of the first TikTok songs, I think.
Yeah, it was
like
one
that,
of the first like viral TikTok songs that transferred over.
That transferred over, exactly. And I just remember like watching the charts every day, watching it go from 60 to 50. And then it would stay at 50 for 2 days. And then it would go to 40. And I'd be like, holy fucking shit, 40, mom, 40. And
It's
I'm
on
like,
the Billboard Hot 100.
It's
right?
like, yeah.
That's crazy.
And I'm still living at my mom's house. My studio's at my mom's. So they would just like come to my mom's house. I would be like in my mom's, like we'd be like having breakfast together. And I'd be like, mom, 40, mom, it's 40. Like like I couldn't believe every moment of it. Then it'd go 30, then it'd go 20. And then one day it was #1 global Spotify. And I would just like, all of us. I think it was so great that it happened with that group of people because we were all friends. And it all happened to us for the first time. So like, I think a lot of people, like sometimes your first hit is like with a big artist or with a, I don't know, with not your friends, but we kind of like got to share this new experience together of like, holy fucking shit, this is crazy. I can't believe this is happening. And then it was #1 global Spotify. It stayed
Incredible.
there. And then, you know, fast forward, it goes #1 on Billboard, and all of us like, we just couldn't believe it. Obviously, it was like broke so many records. It was like, I don't even know. It just broke all these records, and people loved the music. But more importantly, you couldn't like, you know, I had my first hit in COVID, so I couldn't like go out and like hear it at the clubs or hear it on the radio. I was hearing it like in my car and stuff, but I didn't really get to like hear it in the world. But with this new thing, TikTok, I was on TikTok every day just watching people doing the dance, being like, oh my God, this person in India heard my song. Oh my God, these kids in Africa heard Mood. Like I couldn't like, before you've done it, you can't really like fathom that music that you make at your mom's house goes that far. And like to see people enjoying it, it's all just like, it really fucks your head. It really is just kind of just like, you can't really fathom it. I still can't fathom it. Every time a song of mine comes on the radio, I'm like, oh my God, I made that. What? Oh my God, I was part of that. Oh my God, that happened in my studio. That happened at my mom's house. Like, I can't believe it. But it was a really perfect first hit for us to have, I think.
Made it with your friends.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
awesome.
And it was like, I don't know, it felt like the right thing was being rewarded, you know? It's like, work with your friends, be comfortable, have fun, and the rest will do it. It will take care of itself.
How did the actual song like come about?
Golden and Ian, Omar, and BZ, I think they were like playing video games, and Omar played that guitar riff.
Yeah.
And BZ made a quick beat, and they started the song then. And then we had been making music so much that like the next day they were like, look at this thing that we made. And then we were like, oh my God. And then we all finished together.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So they came over to your mom's house
my
in
mom's
your studio.
To my mom's.
How was that? How was it like making music at your mom's house with
The
them?
best. Very comfortable, first of
Amazing.
all. And it was cool because like at first, like it wasn't weird that I was making music in my mom's house because like obviously like I had no hits and I wasn't successful. But as I got more successful and as these songs, like I had my first like 3 #1s at my mom's house.
That's
so like
fire. I
as
love
like
that.
people started wanting to work with me, like these massive artists would like come to my mom's and like my mom would walk out and be like, you guys want snacks? Like it was very cute. It was very homey. It was very like, honestly, I miss it every day. I wish I still had
love
that
that.
kind of. But it was great. And my little brother was around and he was like a big fan of all those artists that I was working with. So, and he was like 12 at the time. So he would come and all the artists would hang out with my little brother. It was very family. It was great.
Amazing. So you go on to have kind of like the first like TikTok hit that transferred over and became this massive success. Was there pressure to perform again and to have another hit at that point?
For sure. Yeah, you have your first one and then the clock starts. Then it's like, because I also believe it's like someone said to me once, you got 1, you're lucky. You get 2, you're lucky.
You're a bit lucky.
3, you've arrived. Like 3,
Interesting.
you know what you're doing. So I was very determined to be like, that wasn't luck. And also, it was at a time where like Golden has the biggest song in the world for 9 weeks. It was the biggest song that year, of that entire year. And all these massive artists had dropped music. And I think a lot of the industry at the time was like, these kids got fucking lucky. Like, these are all just kids. Because none of us were big producers. There was no like big name stuff behind it. Golden, it was his first song. Ian, it was his first song. And I was very determined to be like, to prove everyone wrong and just be like, that wasn't luck. Like, we know how to make good music. We know how to make big songs. So I put so much pressure on myself. I mean, I always put pressure on myself. But back then, the pressure was, prove that it didn't just happen once.
How many songs did it take until like the second hit came?
I think my second one was Without You, Kid LAROI.
Hey.
And that came not that long after. I think like 6 months after. I don't remember. I'm sure I'm butchering this, but pretty soon after.
Without You, Kid LAROI also had like a huge moment on TikTok as well. But like that song is really interesting because it's like a total different vibe than what was coming out at the time. Tell me about how making that song came about.
I think it just felt good. I think like always you don't want to be making music from a point of like, what's popular right now? Let's do that. And I think the songs that are my favorite and the songs that people love the most are songs that like, you're like, whoa, that sounds like nothing else that's on the radio right now. And for LAROI, who's a rapper, singer, to have this acoustic guitar song, it was so beyond what people thought he was going to do. And he's also, people don't understand this about LAROI, is that he's like, he has so many different influences. He's good at so many different things. And the same way that he's inspired by Elliott Smith, he's inspired by, his favorite rappers. It's like and he loves both of them equally. I think Without You was cool to me because, first of all, it was acoustic guitar, no drum song on the radio. So we were always proud of that. And also it was just like, people didn't expect it at all. So it felt good that was big for him. And that was like kind of his first big hit, because I wasn't like, all right, here's a rapper, here's a trap drum song where he's singing. You know what I mean? It wasn't, no one saw it coming.
And then there was the viral line, so there you go.
Can't make a wife out of a hoe.
That's right. I love it. You and Kid LAROI then go on to just continue to make music together. Why is Kid LAROI different than other artists you've worked with? What about him stands out?
He has the most raw talent. It's so like, what comes out of him is it's funny because he's like, again, like I get to be friends with all these people. LAROI, like we were like going out to Korean barbecue and going out to lunch together, and then like would come back, and then like he would get on the mic and just be a fucking god to me. I would just like watch him on the mic being like, how the fuck does this come out of your mouth? Like, this kid is so, and you can hear from anyone. There's so many different interviews of other people talking about him like this, and it's because it's so true. When he gets on a mic, like it feels like the world stops, kind of.
Yeah.
He's so unbelievably talented, and he works so hard, and he has so many different genres that he loves, which means I think he has so many different genres that he's good at. And it just makes for this artist that you're just like, what is this? Like, what? Like, you can't really tell. Like, it was very new to me. And that combined with how hard he worked, with how much fun we had making music, because we would just like hang out and these songs would come, I was like, I just want to work with this dude forever.
I love it. Yeah. One of Kid LAROI's biggest mentors was Juice WRLD.
Mm-hmm.
You also had the chance to make a song with him, for him.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
I never got to meet Juice. I wish I got to meet Juice. I had made a beat with my friends, Take a Day Trip, and they were with Juice and they played him the beat. So that's how that came about. But I never got to hang with him. So I wish I had met him personally, and I wish I had better stories. But the story really is that I was a huge fan of Juice. and I was on his Instagram live one time because he was playing music. And I was like, oh my God, I want to hear Juice's new music. And then he plays my guitar riff, and then starts singing over it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Because I didn't know that he was going to record over the beat. No one had told me. So I just found out like everyone else, like hearing this new song. But I was like, oh my God, wait, that's me playing guitar.
And I didn't even know that I had a song with Juice WRLD. I just was like, wait, is that my guitar? And that was it. That was like, I would listen to the leak on YouTube all the time, and finally it came out, and it was the coolest feeling because I think Juice is one of the best songwriters probably of all time, easily.
100%.
So getting to have anything with him, even if I didn't get to meet him or didn't get to watch him make it, is huge honor.
Over the last few years, I've sat down with some of the greatest minds in all of music, and they've told me stories and given me some of the best tips that changed my entire perspective on creating. And I'm looking to give that to you because I'm hoping that it can help you just as much as it helped me. My goal with Behind the Wall is to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. It's to inspire the next generation of creatives, but it's also to create the platform that I wish I had when I first started making music, when I first started being creative, when I first started making videos. Behind the Wall has taught me so much on this journey, and I want to take these lessons that I've learned and help the next generation. So I put together 15 of the most important and impactful lessons that I've learned on my own journey from these people directly, from some of the greatest minds in all of music. People like Chris Martin of Coldplay, Benny Blanco, Ryan Tedder, Julia Michaels, Amy Allen, Bonnie McKee, Savin Kotecha. So many of the greatest minds in all of music, people that I had the pleasure and privilege of interviewing. People like Ryan Tedder, who gave me one of the greatest pieces of advice that helped me on my own journey. People like Benny Blanco, who changed my entire perspective 6 years into making music. People like Marshmello, who taught me that as long as something sounds good to you, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And I'm looking to pass this knowledge on to you, which will be 15 lessons from the greatest minds in music, which will be in the description completely for free. And now let's return to Behind the Wall. Yeah, Juice is probably like one of the greatest artists of our time in terms of like other artists who are inspired by him. One of them is the Kid LAROI, of course. You and Kid LAROI then go on to work together quite a bit, but one of the songs that like really connected is one of the biggest songs of all time, Stay, with Justin Bieber. Tell me about that song.
It's such a crazy story. I was friends with Charlie Puth.
Okay.
And me and Charlie were in my studio on a Sunday, and we were just chilling. LAROI texts me like, hey, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm just going to come over. And LAROI comes over. We're all hanging. LAROI and Charlie had never met. Omar was there. We're all just hanging out. And the way, like, however you see Charlie on the internet is exactly how he is. Like, he's like, can't sit still. And he's like, has to be playing music at all times. Like, if there's a keyboard, he's playing it. Like, he's like, it's part of him. So he goes over to my Juno 60 and he starts playing without even sound. Like, he's just like tinkering. Because again, he just like has to be playing music at all points. And he's like, wait, I think I have like a cool thing. Like, will you just like put it on record? So I open up Pro Tools. Again, like, no one was supposed to make music. No one was like, hey, like, Charlie Puth, Kid LAROI, Omar, and Blake, like, let's all set up a session at 1 p.m. at Blake's house. Like, it was so not that. We were all just like hanging out and didn't even think that anything was going to happen. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that Charlie played is never played it again after that. He played it one time. So the first time he sits down at this keyboard, he plays this thing. That's what's on the record now. Wow. Then he's playing it and we're all like still hanging out. Like, no one even heard that and was like, that's the best keyboard riff ever. We were kind of just like, yeah, we're hanging out. And LAROI was like, wait, I think I have something for that. And I was like, okay. And I turn on the mic. First thing that comes out of LAROI's mouth is, I do the same. Whole hook. Basically the whole song in one take.
Really?
In one take. We made changes. We made like little stuff. But basically the entire song comes out of LAROI's mouth. No drums, no production, just to that keyboard in one take. And we're all sitting there like, like my mouth was like on the floor. I was like, what is happening right now? It was like, again, it was one of those things where like something just, you like black out and then you wake up and you have this song. And we put like rough drums on it. I remember LAROI, all of us were like, this is sick, but no one was like, biggest song of all time right there, obviously. But LAROI loved it and he snippeted the song. He filmed himself with the hook in the background.
During the session?
During the session,
Oh,
yeah, at the
wow.
end. It was like, it had been like 2 hours
Yeah.
when we had like cleaned everything up and like kind of like realized what had happened and been like, whoa, what just happened? And he puts up a little snippet on the internet. And I had like really never had this happen. A bunch of my producer friends started texting me like, hey, that thing that LAROI posted in your studio is really dope. Like, that's really cool. And we were like, oh my God, wait, is this like what is this? Because again, like no one was supposed to make music that day. No one was like, we have to make a song. So it was like kind of like a bonus song a little bit. And we were like, is this like bonus song good? Like, I think this is really good. We were all like, it was one of those ones where you wake up the next morning and being like, I do the same thing. Like, it wouldn't leave my fucking head. It was very annoying. So we have that for a bunch of months. Me and Omar are working on the production like every day because we have this thing that we love, but we couldn't figure out how to make it sound like what it sounded like in our heads. Like there was some, like the whole song was there basically, but the production we didn't feel was there. So we're working on it every single day. We're working on this every day and it's crazy. We're just like, we don't
How
even
many
know
versions
up from down.
did you make of this song?
Like including mixes, we did like 20 mixes, like 4 masters, and then production like 70, 80. It's crazy.
Wow.
Whatever it is, it's something insane. But the song had sat for a while we were working on the production. LAROI always loved it. And one day he's sitting with Justin and they're playing each other music and LAROI plays Justin Stay. And Justin's like, whoa, I want to get on that. So I get a call randomly one day from LAROI and Justin. I didn't even know that Justin was getting on it. I answer the phone and there's Justin. And they were like, yo, send the files. Like, send the open verse. We want to record it right now.
That's crazy.
And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's happening? What's happening? And from that call, like an hour later, they FaceTime me again and play me the verse. And I was just like, oh, at that point, we were just like, that's it. It's over. Like I had always thought that song was so special. And when Justin FaceTimed us and played the verse, I was like, this is going to be, because, you know, now I had a taste of what a hit's like. Then I was like, this is going to be the biggest song in the world. Like this
You knew
is
at that point.
100%. Always. I just thought it was so special. I loved it so much.
It's such a great song.
I went to bed singing it. I woke up singing it. I was such a fan of it. And I kind of just had this thing at this point where I was just like, I don't know. I feel like if I'm a fan of it, hopefully other people are too. And we work on the production again for like 50 more versions. We just like can't get it right. And finally we feel like it gets to the chorus and the chorus explodes and it gets to the verse and you want the verse and then it gets to the next pre and everything like to us, to our ears, like happened right. You know when the song's finished when A, you hate it, like, and you've been working on it for way too long, and B, you don't hear anything else. You don't hear any changes. Like I always listen and I'm like, I would change that. When we were done with Stay, I was like, there's nothing else I would do. Like this is exactly how I want it to sound. And yeah, I mean, it comes out and it's just like immediately people love it.
You spent all this time on this song. When it finally comes out, what did that feel like?
It was so hard to get it done. And it was so like, there were so many times where I like thought it wasn't going to come out or it wasn't sounding right. And I was so frustrated with myself that it came out, and the night it came out, it went #1 on iTunes. And the next day it went #1 on Spotify.
Crazy.
And when I saw that, I just started crying. Like I sobbed crying. Like that's the only time it's ever happened.
That's
for me.
amazing.
But I just sobbed because we worked so hard on it.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much and I believed in it so much. And obviously, I have this crazy belief in the song, but obviously there are times where you're like, fuck, what if people don't like this? Like, what if it's not what we think it is? It was kind of different for LAROI. Like, the sound was very different.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if people don't like this? I don't know. Obviously, having my moments of being like, do we suck? Does this suck? And then when it did that, it was like just the craziest validation kind of release for me.
Incredible. Yeah, you and LAROI have done so many, and also Omar, shout out Omar, have done so many songs together. One of the ones that you talked about earlier, Without You, one of the things I forgot to mention is you guys worked with one of the most iconic singers of all time, Miley Cyrus, on that song. What was that like?
I mean, obviously, was the biggest fan of I grew up watching Hannah Montana.
Shout out Hannah Montana.
Shout out Hannah Montana.
Love
I watched it every night.
Yeah.
So Miley, I mean, talk about someone who walks in a room and the room changes. Miley walks in the room and you feel her walking in the room. You don't even you don't even have to see her. You feel an energy shift.
That's crazy.
She is such a star. She is such a presence. And when she opens her mouth to sing, even in the room, it's like, I wish everyone could have this experience. Like, I remember just hearing her being like, oh, is this the right line? And then singing the hook and just sitting there like, oh my God. It's one of the best voices I think it's one of the best voices ever. I think she's truly one of the most iconic voices of all time.
Incredible.
And when she sings next to you, you're like, holy fucking shit. Like, it's unlike anything you've ever seen. So obviously working with her was a dream. And I just think she's so amazing. She's so creative. She's such a star. She'll go down as one of the most important pop stars of our time, artists of our time. So obviously any chance to be in a room with her is very special.
Were there any songs that you made when you were surprised they became hits?
I mean, I think by the time a song comes out that I've worked on, it's gone, and I'm normally working with the artist so much, it's gone through so much revision and is this the right song? Is this the right song? That by the time we're all like, we all normally kind of believe like, oh, this is going to be the one. But from the start, I would say I didn't have the bravery that Sam had with Unholy. Sam, we always loved the song, but it was such a brave choice that I was sitting there being like, this could either be the biggest thing or no one's going to like it. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. But Sam, and I'll tell you the story of Unholy, but Sam had this belief, and Sam's also a person where when you sit with them, they have such conviction with their art that anything that they kind of love, you're like, I believe you. Like, anything that they say, you're just like, I believe you. Whatever you say. Because they have such a strong vision. And I think when Sam, to see Sam take such a risk and it pay off was very cool.
Incredible. Yeah. Tell me the story of Sam Smith, Kim Petras, Unholy.
Unholy. So we're all in Jamaica. We'd been working on Sam's album for a while, and Sam wanted to go somewhere with a bunch of the producers on the album to get away and kind of just like really like lock in and work on it. And I think it was like the third or the fourth day. We're there, and Omar started playing these chords on the guitar. It was like right after lunch. We had I don't know, jerk chicken or something, like something great, something amazing food, and we were all chilling. It was very like relaxed, chill. And Omar played these chords, and Ilya started making this beat.
Wow.
And Sam started singing the Unholy hook.
Yeah.
And at the time, a lot of us, except for Sam, were like, oh, this is going to be a really cool interlude on their album. Like, this is going to be a great interlude because it was so crazy. The beat is so insane. The mommy don't know. Like, obviously, it's insane. And at the time, Sam had never done something like that. So we were all like, this is a really cool risk to take. This is going to be a sick interlude. And Sam, from the beginning, was like, that's my single. And we were like, whoa, really? We kept working on it. And eventually Kim hops on it. We're at Capitol Studios in LA. Kim comes over. She does her verse, murders it. Kim's incredible. And Sam always just had this conviction with the song. They always just knew, like, I want to take this risk. This feels so right to me. And I think whether people love it or not, they were definitely not doing it like for like, I want this to be the biggest song in the world. I think they just loved the song so much. And they had such a vision of like, this is what I'm going to do with my career now. This is where I'm going with my album. This is what I want people to hear first. And I mean, it couldn't have paid off more. I couldn't. I remember the snippet came out and people were the snippet started going crazy.
Way before the song even came out.
Way before the song. Yeah. It was Sam and Kim in the studio playing it. And I remember like when it actually came out, the snippet was so distorted because it was playing so loud. When it actually came out, people were like, this doesn't hit as hard. And we were like, fuck, do we have distorted it more? Like, fuck, we had to make it sound like the snippet. But I think that's just such a good example of letting go of what you think someone should do musically, what you think that you are musically, what you think, like, just really being like, that song just happened in such an organic way, because obviously no one is like, let's make a crazy song like that. It just happened. And Sam had this vision that they would fully stand behind, that they just had this belief that you had to go along for the ride with them, you know? Like, they believed in it so much that you had to just be like, yeah, I mean, I believe you. I'm with you. I'm with you. This one's special.
Incredible. Yeah, I've heard Sam talk about it before. They took such a risk with this song, as you were saying, because no one on their team like believed in it.
No,
which is crazy.
And the label was like, "That's not coming out."
That's crazy.
There were people at the label that were like, "That song is not coming out." There were people at the label that's like, I mean, there were so many people that didn't believe in it.
I'd assume that the snippet going so viral was probably
at that point you had to, yeah, you had to just be like, okay, obviously people like this. But before that, it's a scary thing.
Yes, even Sam putting that snippet out to be, no, this song, I believe in it so much, I'm putting this out to my audience and let them decide.
Because Sam is one of the great voices of our generation.
Facts.
And has some of the greatest ballads, I think, written in the last 100 years.
100%.
And such amazing pop music. This is so left of what that was. I just think I'm always very proud of being part of that song, especially because it won the Grammy, and Kim was the first trans person to stand up on the Grammy stage. Just to be a part of that moment in history and be a part of the message that, like, take a risk, be creative, it's going to pay off, is something I'm very proud of.
Incredible.
I feel, and I obviously so grateful to Sam, because that's not a, and Kim and everyone else on the record, that's not a thing that you can sit around and be like, I'm gonna get an artist to do this. Like, as a producer, we can have great ideas and we can make great songs, but that's something that a producer can't make happen. That's stuff that only an artist with an incredible vision can be like, this is the moment that I'm going for. I'm gonna make this happen.
Incredible. Speaking of the Grammys, was that a lifelong goal for you?
Getting a Grammy?
Yes.
For sure.
What was that
because
like?
you grow up watching the Grammys every year, and you know, you don't make music to get a Grammy. And I definitely didn't make About Damn Time with Lizzo and Ricky and T-Ron thinking this is gonna get a Grammy. But it happens to you, and you look back being like, I mean, it's very special for my parents and my family. Like, I got to bring my dad to the Grammys, and
That's
my dad,
amazing.
before he came to the Grammys, he called my sister and he was like, I don't want to go to the Grammys. Like, Blake's not gonna win. I don't want to like sit through this. It's gonna be so long. And I looked back at him when I won and stood up and looked at his face, and it was just, especially after the process of that song. Obviously, it's a dream moment.
Definitely. What was it like to? Because Record of the Year is also like for the production of it too, right? Mm-hmm. So you got to go up on stage and everything like that. What was that like? I remember I was with my family. We were all watching the Grammys, and I was like, "There's Blake."
I blacked out. I don't even know. I blacked out. We won, and it's all a blur from then. I had a big party at my house after.
Love it.
Everything from that, from winning to waking up in the morning, is a full blur.
I think the Grammys is a really great validation for a lot of people in this industry, because the Grammys don't necessarily decide what good music is, but it's really good to be able to like have the industry say this was a good record. Good.
Of
job
course,
kind
but
thing.
also, if we hadn't gotten a Grammy for it, I would still be just as proud of that song. I would still love that song just as much. It's the best recognition. It's so cool, but it doesn't make any song better or worse than other ones, I don't think.
Agreed. What was it like to make that song?
Another crazy story. Every one of these songs, it's always a crazy story. But I wish I could just walk into a room and be like, all right, let's write a song today. Song written. Oh, that song's the biggest song in the world. Like, it will never happen like that ever. I had been working with Lizzo for a couple months.
Okay.
I came in kind of at the end of her album, and we finished. It was the holiday break, and we basically got the call like, hey, we want one more song from the label. And we're all like, fuck you, we're not making another song. Like, the album's great. Like, you're not getting another song, no way. And somehow, I had never worked with Ricky before. Ricky, we had never made music, but Ricky makes all of Lizzo's music from the beginning. And I had been working separately with Max, I'd been working with Omar on Lizzo stuff. Mm-hmm. So this is our first time that me and Ricky got together. And they were like, just go make some beats with Ricky. Just make some beats. Like, it doesn't have to be pressure. Nothing has to happen. We set up the session with Lizzo, and Lizzo was like, if you guys make something good, I'll come to the studio. But like, it was never like, we got to make the song. She was like, I'm not coming to the studio. Like, if you guys make something cool, FaceTime me, I'll pull up. So me and Ricky get in one day, we make some stuff. We get in one day, we make some stuff that's cool. We get in the second day, and Lizzo's album, I had heard it. Lizzo's album had no disco dance song on it. And I think all of us were kind of like, I mean, this is going to make a lot of sense if she does this. Why don't we just try making like a disco beat? So I pulled up some drums. Ricky picks up a bass. First thing he plays again, bada boom, 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 bada ba bum bum bum. Iconic bass line now.
Yeah.
Now I'm sitting there like, whoa, what's that? What do you mean? That's it. What song is that? I thought that was another song because it sounded like something you've heard a million times. And he was like, I don't know. I just made it up right now. We took like 30 minutes on the beat, and then we were like, wait, I think we should call Lizzo. This one's pretty good. We FaceTime Lizzo. She picks up, and she's like, all right, I'll be in the studio in 10 minutes. Like, she was like, so like, all right, you're right. That's fucking fire. And from that day, it was the first of like 4 months, 5 months. I don't even know, something crazy of working on that one song every single day, every day, because it had something so special that we loved. We wrote the chorus, we wrote the verses, we had all the rough stuff down, but Lizzo's so incredible. Lizzo knows exactly what she wants to do at all times. And she knows exactly what a record needs to feel like. She has the feel. She has it in her soul. She has it in her bones. And it just wasn't feeling like that. So it's every day getting in the studio on this. We recorded pianos at 3 different studios to make the piano feel right.
That's crazy.
We recorded a million different flute sounds and percussion sounds and different drum machines, like trying to get every single part of the song to where we knew it could be. And we just didn't have like the answer, I think, until like there was a couple breakthroughs on the song. I remember we were at Glenwood Studios, and Lizzo walks into the booth. We have no second verse. And we were like, Lizzo walks in the booth, we have no second verse. And we were like, why don't we take the guitar off the second verse so it's just bass? So now we just have drums, bass. And Lizzo walks in the booth and goes, in a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental, does the second verse. And we were all like, whoa, what's that? What the fuck is that? That's insane. That was a huge breakthrough. Then there was another time where we get, it used to be called It's About That Time.
Yeah.
Then Lizzo goes, It's About Damn Time. And we're like, whoa, it's about damn time. Yeah, for sure. All these little things happen. And one day, I actually have a video of it. There was one day where we knew we were done with the song. I forget what lyric we changed, but Ricky started crying. Ricky's recording Lizzo. I have a video of Ricky recording Lizzo, me on the couch, Lizzo in the booth, and she changes this lyric, and we all just get up. Ricky starts crying. I start dancing. I'm like, we're fucking done. We're done. We're done with this song. Fuck, because I told you, you're done with the song when you fucking hate it. Like, you're done when you're like, oh my God, I can never listen to the song ever again. And yeah, from there, again, it was like 30 mixes. I think we did 2 masters. Like, we still had so much work to do. But when it came out, we were all like, because Lizzo was coming off of this massive first album.
Yeah.
A lot of pressure was put on her and us to like really deliver. And I think she's such a special artist because she brings joy to the world. And I was such a fan of her because I listened to her music and it made me happy. And it made me dance. And that's it sounds like such a simple thing, but it's rare, like that people can make music that really uplifts the world.
True.
And that was kind of the task placed on us, is like make a song that
uplifts
everyone loves, that uplifts the world. And everyone, like, obviously, you don't know where it's going to go, but we knew that it made us dance and it made us happy. And the song came out. It didn't initially do super well out of the gates.
Yeah.
And then the dance happens, and then it was like pouring a bunch of gasoline on it. And then all of a sudden, everyone's doing the dance. And all of a sudden, it goes #1. And then all of a sudden, we're sitting at the Grammys, and it gets Record of the Year, and it gets Best Remix. And it was a wild time.
That's incredible.
That was wild.
That must have been life-changing to have seen and been a part of. Incredible.
Every one of these songs is life-changing. They're all life-changing. Any song that people unanimously like agree that they like and that goes so popular. Honestly, like, there are songs that I have that I feel really changed my life that weren't the most popular thing ever, but to me, like, changed my life. You know what I mean?
What were some of those songs?
There's too many to name, but there's and people always ask me, like, what's your favorite song that you've ever made? I don't know.
I think
it changes every day. It changes every day. Like, I always have one, but like,
yeah,
it changes every day, and it's not like the most popular ones at all. It's just like the ones that feel the best to me. Again, like, I'm a fan of music. I'm lucky enough to be like a fan of songs that I'm making because, like, I can't believe that I'm a part of them. And the ones that I love the most are the ones I can't believe I'm a part of it.
I love it. What do you think is the best time to make music? Does it matter?
No, because you can point to any year, any decade, and there are amazing songs being made.
Time of the day.
Oh, time of the day?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. It's different for everyone.
Got it.
It's different for everyone. I work with some people who are the best at past midnight, and some people who we wake up at 9 a.m. and it's 9 to 5. Different every time.
So your kind of thing is like you do whatever is best for the artist.
Yeah. Well, every artist process is so different, and my job as the producer is to get the best out of the artist.
Do you change your style of how you work with every artist differently? Like, is the style?
For sure.
What do you do differently for each artist?
I think you have to be a chameleon. I think it doesn't matter what I do best. I think it matters what I can bring to the artist that I'm working with. And so I try to really change my process and style and what I do in the room and what I do on the computer and what I do instrument wise based on like how can I help this song the most?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people you work with, like Omar Fetty, incredible guitarist. Charlie Puth, incredible pianist, also great singer. Like Kid LAROI, amazing vocalist, amazing like artist in that way. What would you say is the thing you bring to the table the most then?
It changes every time. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I bring to the table, honestly. I think what matters is that, because sometimes I feel like I don't even know. Like, what matters is like, like everyone has their stuff. Like, you wake up one day and you're like, I'm the greatest fucking producer in the world. And then you wake up another day and you're like, I don't know how people are getting in a room with me to make music because I fucking suck. I think I do a different thing with everyone who I work with. And I think the only thing that matters for me is getting the best out of who I'm working with. And I guess luckily now I have things to point to be like, we made some great stuff together. Like we had some really big successful stuff, and maybe, hopefully stuff that I did pointed to that. But I don't ever like being like who did what in the room, who does. I don't like boxing anyone in. Like this person does this in the room, this person does this in the room, because my favorite artists sometimes do an amazing thing in one style, sometimes do an amazing thing in another style. My favorite producers sometimes are picking up the guitar and being the best guitarist ever, and then for the next song, the song doesn't need guitar, so they're not playing guitar. You know what I mean? And like, I don't want to be the person who's like, I'm a great guitarist, so I'm going to play guitar on every song. It doesn't matter. You just do whatever fits the song best and whatever makes the best music.
I think something I'm learning from you, and even like something that I felt from the times that I've like hung around you, been around you, is that you do a really good job of making other people feel comfortable.
Thank you.
And that's where I think the real creativity comes out, when people are truly comfortable.
I'll take it.
I love that.
I'll take it.
You talked about him earlier, but one of the most iconic singers, Jungkook.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? That's crazy.
I only got to meet him once. I got to meet him.
Yeah, I saw a picture of.
Yeah, I got to meet him one time on the set of the Too Much video. We did a song called Too Much with LAROI as well and Central C. I didn't get to meet him during the song that we made that I wrote with Ed and Circuit and Johnny. But we met him for like 10 minutes. We literally we had to record the line on the music video, or the verse on the music video of the song, and we had like 10 minutes to do it. So he walked in, did his thing, left. Very nice guy though. Very nice guy.
He's probably really quick with it.
He's super quick with it. I hope to meet him again.
What's your thoughts on the current state of the music industry?
I think music is in a really amazing, cool place right now, because I think music is rewarding authenticity and the niche and the weird and the not so formulaic. And I also think that there's no gatekeepers. Like the same way, I feel like every time I make a song, I have the exact same chance of making something amazing as like two kids in a basement in Wisconsin. I have a great studio. I have all the synthesizers and nice guitars and cool speakers, but that makes no difference to like how good of a song you make to me, because I made big songs with nothing and with no cool gear, and I've made terrible songs with amazing gear. So it doesn't matter.
Fortnite.
Now more than ever, the only thing that matters is good ideas and good taste. And you don't need to have money to pay for a studio. You don't need to be on a label. You don't need to be anything. I think people point to something that they think is great, and it doesn't matter who made it. They're like, that's great. We love this. And there are all these songs that get big. $1 Million Baby, Sailor Song, Gigi Perez. I mean, there's I could point to literally 10 million, including like ours when I first started was Mood. Like that wasn't on a big studio. That wasn't a big budget. We didn't have a huge thing. We didn't have like anything pointing to us making a hit, but we made something that people loved. And I think it's very cool that everyone has kind of the same chance now. You know, you could argue, of course, like people have head starts being on a big label. You have a head start being Ed Sheeran or The Weeknd or massive artists, obviously, of course. But you look at the charts and you see how many of these songs are by people that no one had ever heard of and by people that no one was counting on to make a hit song. I think that's very, very cool.
It's made it an equal playing field almost.
It's an equal playing field.
I
truly believe it's even if it's not fully equal, it's like 1,000,000 times more equal than it has ever been before.
But even the people that you talked about before, like Ed Sheeran, like his story of like getting to where he is insane, and the Weeknd story of getting to where he is insane. Who are some of like your biggest inspirations in music? Because the wall of your studio is like filled. It's crazy.
All the classics. I mean, I'm inspired by new people every single day. I couldn't even to even name some would be difficult, because I really I have my idols, of course.
Yeah.
But then I'll get obsessed with a producer that no one knows, or a small artist that has 500,000 plays on their song that I'm just like, I can't get enough of. I think it's very important to listen to a lot of music and to know what's going on and to be like I don't know, to just know what came before you music wise, to be able to have all sorts of different inspirations. But I also think it's very important to not stick yourself to one kind of like legends, Beatles,
True.
Zeppelin, Bob, like any of these people who are like the legends of music. I think there's just as much inspiration in the random stuff too.
Yeah, speaking of inspiration, do you ever like go through moments where inspiration is lacking or like creative blocks are
All
happening?
the time. Oh my God, all the time. I told you, I make bad songs every day until I make not a bad song. But every day I make the worst song you've ever heard. Like, it just always happens. And that's what it should be. And like every day, I think what helps me a lot is that thing that I said earlier about how it's not really us making the music. It's really something that like comes through you and you're just like kind of the vessel, and you got to know how to like be ready for it when it happens and know how to finish it and know how to like keep it going. I think because I believe in that, I try not to feel like it's my fault when something doesn't happen. And I try to just be like, again, when I write the worst song ever, to be like, didn't come today, all good. And again, because I work with my friends, because I work with people, so I don't really do too many like one-off sessions where I meet the guy, I make a song, and then we're done. I don't like doing that because I don't think that's how great music gets made. And also, like, I want to be able to leave the studio and be like, all right, you guys want to go get dinner? Like, Kid LAROI. I think one of my favorite songs I've ever made with him is called Bleed. And we made Bleed after spending an entire day in the studio getting nothing. We were like, all right, let's just like go to dinner or something. We went and got Korean barbecue. We came back to the studio to like get our stuff, to pick up our stuff, and then Bleed happened. And then like for the weeks after that, we were like, oh my God, we got to get Korean barbecue every day. Like that's the thing. That's the thing. Like that's how we're going to get good luck. And obviously it never happened again. Like it's always
But you went to
inspiration.
Korean barbecue, right?
Yeah, of course, every day.
Yeah.
But like, you know, inspiration never comes when you think you're going to get it.
Interesting.
But, you know, I think because of that feeling like, all right, all good. We didn't kill it. Let's go to dinner. Like
The pressure.
you
was
have
off.
to be able to have that. You have to be able to have, or else you just go crazy. And I've definitely spent my time going crazy. Like I've definitely had my days of being like, no one's gonna like me ever again, and I've made terrible music, and no one wants to work with me. And how did I convince myself that people like me? It's just like that's what happened. That's like the nature of being an artist.
Yeah, every time. This sometimes happens to me with content. It's like when a new video comes out, it's like I don't even know if people are gonna like this. Is that how it sometimes feels with like putting out
Every
songs
song,
with artists?
every song, no matter what. Of
Like that
course,
sense
you
of
always have the
imposter?
feeling like, oh my, are people gonna like this? I don't even know. I have no idea. You always have that feeling. It's so natural. It's so natural. I think I got really comfortable with it, realizing that it doesn't go away once you're successful. You honestly
like
just
it
gets more.
gets
so
more.
it's like instead of trying to get rid of it, you kind of just come to terms with it. And then you come home sometimes and you're like, fuck, I'm not feeling inspired right now. And then you're just okay with, you're just like, all right, I'm not feeling inspired. All right, I'm feeling sad. All good. I can let myself be sad. Like I can let myself be heartbroken. I can all these things. It's like just letting yourself go and letting yourself be, and not being hard on yourself for feeling certain feelings.
Definitely.
I think is really kind of the key.
That's great. Do you find yourself ever feeling guilty when you're not working on music and doing that?
Yes, but I also think it's very important to, I work really hard, and I think it's so important to have a great work ethic, but also if you work too much, you don't have experiences to draw from.
True.
If you work too much, you don't, you have to live a life. You got to live life. You got to
a
be
great
able
point.
to come into the next session with something to write about and be like, oh, this happened to me. Oh, I got my heart broken here. Oh, I'm in love. Anything. It doesn't even have to be love. Oh, I went to a fun party this weekend. I think it's important to go out and listen to music and go out to the clubs and hear what people are playing and hear what people are dancing to. Sometimes hear your own music is so cool. Getting to go out and on a dance floor and hear people playing About Damn Time or 360 or any of these songs. I think that's so fun. It's very important to not to work hard, but also not let yourself just be in a hole.
Shout out Lizzo. Shout out Charlie.
Shout out Lizzo. Shout out Charlie.
Okay. Recently, I kept hearing this song over and over again, and around 3 years ago, no, even longer than that, I got super into K-pop. Got super into BTS, New Jeans, and then I kept hearing this song over and over and over again on TikTok recently, and last year, I think recently, And the song kept coming up over and over and over. But you feel so out of touch. Tell me about Cat's Eyes.
One of my best friends, his name is Charlie. He works at Interscope.
Okay.
And he was on the show Dream Academy.
Yeah.
Of finding and putting together Katseye. Charlie's been one of my best friends for almost 10 years now, maybe.
Wow.
Maybe a little at 7. I don't know, something. We've been really close for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie, we've kind of like grown in the music industry together. And Charlie was putting together Katseye and hit me up if we had any songs. And I had this song, and that's it. That's it. I wish it was a more exciting story. We had the song. We recorded them on it. They're stars. They're incredible at what they do. They're like, I don't even like, K-pop is so amazing to me because I see them dance and I see them move and sing, and I'm like, how do you even have like the brain bandwidth to like do all of these things at the same time? I like don't understand it. I don't understand how you can be like that good at dancing while singing, while like looking cool. Like if I'm gonna dance like that, my face is gonna be like, yeah, like I'm gonna like look insane the whole time while I'm doing it. They look like perfect.
Yeah, and
the whole
so
time
in
they're
unison.
doing it. They're so in unison. I don't get it. So that was really fun to do, to watch them do something I could never fucking do ever. But to watch them, like I had never had a song that, you know, it comes out and before it comes out, you got to get the choreo for it and you have the stuff. And it was very fun and cool to watch them, to watch that process. And fun to like, again, like to win with my friends. And now I've gotten to be friends with the girls there who are awesome.
Love it.
But I like that it was born out of a long friendship.
Did you ever learn the dance?
No. The girls try to teach it to me. I'm not very good at it. I'm not going to embarrass myself. I can't learn the dance.
So that song, was it a super cool moment to see it connecting like
Of
crazy?
course. It's a cool moment every time.
There's like, okay, I feel like in around 2023 there was this moment where TikTok shifted. As like I'm obsessed with like TikTok and music on TikTok and like music in general. So there was this moment in 2023 where you saw kind of a decline in dancing on TikTok and more of like a rise of trends on TikTok related to songs. And I feel like Touch by Katseye was like one of the things that really brought dancing back to
Cool.
TikTok.
I like that. I'll take that.
Which is sick.
I love that. Yeah. I mean, they're incredible, perfect dancers. It's only fitting.
But like even people are just doing the dance like crazy.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then that, of course, brought back like Diva Beyonce that's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have like TikTok has impacted music so much? What would you say is like your hottest take on music today or the music industry or anything like that?
My hottest take.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about that one.
Please do. You can get back to me.
I have to think about hottest take. I definitely have them. But let me think about it.
Yeah. Were you or are you ever afraid to like give suggestions in the studio when you're working with artists?
Never.
Are you ever afraid to be like look stupid or like say something dumb or
Never.
anything like that?
I can't be.
How did you develop
because
that?
you have to be able to dare to suck. You have to be able to like everyone in the studio needs to be able to throw out terrible ideas and be like, not that one. And not be like, that idea fucking sucks. Fuck you. You suck. You're horrible. Like I'm never scared. And I think it's very important to be able to tell I want every artist I work with to be like, I hate those drums. I hate this. And be like, cool, all good. Let's change them. You know what I mean? The same way I want to be like, I don't like that lyric. I think we can get better than that. That's the only way that good stuff gets made. I think you can never be scared to tell people what you really think.
Has it been a skill to like not take it personally, or is that just the name of it? It's just like, this doesn't work.
I think
it's
maybe
fine.
in the beginning I took it personally, but no, it's been so many years since I've taken it personally. And I think the studio, again, it's a safe place. Like you have to be able to take risks. And if you can't take risks, then what are we really even doing?
You have done a ton in your career and made it to this point, which is awesome. Super awesome to see. It's super awesome to have seen your story even 2 years ago, meeting you and seeing where you've come to now. It's awesome. What is a piece of advice you have for anyone out there who wants to get into music, wants to become a creative?
Work harder than everyone around you. Just work harder than everyone around you. Be the one. I used to fall asleep at my computer every single night, like with my head in my hand like this on Pro Tools. And then I would wake up and do it again. And I'd be like, all right, now it's like 3 a.m. I'll go to bed. I think there's so many different things that make people great, and there's no one path at all. There's no like, oh, you have to be great at guitar. You have to be great. I know some of my favorite producers in the world don't know how to play any instruments, and some of my favorite producers in the world are true virtuosos on everything. It doesn't matter at all. I think the only thing that matters is that you work harder than everyone. You have great taste. So I think taste comes from just listening to a lot of music and knowing a lot of what's come before you. And just be nice. I think be nice. I think now, like, I won't work with anyone who's not just like a nice person. And everyone who I do work with is so great and such a friend and so cool. No one wants a dick. No one wants an asshole. Just like always be nice to people, make people feel good. It comes back to you. And trust the process. It takes so long. I remember someone told me that you got to think about your career like a snowball. And you just keep packing on and packing on and packing on. And eventually it's so big it just has to roll down the hill. Of course it's going to. I think careers are the same. I think you just work so hard over and over and over. And it never happens when you want it to happen. It always happens way after. And it never happens when you think you're ready. And then it happens to you and then you're like, I was so not ready back then. But I think it's a blessing to be ready for these things when they come. Because like look at so many of the big artists right now are like overnight successes, but really have been in this for years and years and years and just honing their craft and getting better. And that's why they're great. It's like it's not exciting to work on music for a year and then have a big song. Like it's just impossible. And also like you don't want that.
Yeah, you mentioned one of their songs earlier, and I think it's really awesome to see like the incredible career that Charlie has had. But what I think is funny is all these people are like seeing her as an overnight success, and people are talking about that with like the album she had, but like she's been writing and like been in the industry for so long. So it's been like incredible to even like see there's no such thing as an
and I look at
success.
the work that she makes and I'm like, that's a person who cares about every single aspect of what they do. And that's a person who has honed their craft in every single way.
Definitely.
And it's like faultless. Like there's nothing like there's nothing. It's perfect to me. And so much of its perfectness lies in its imperfectness and how she embraces not being perfect and embraces, like the ethos of Brat, all of that. I think she's such a good example. And so are Sabrina and Chapel and all these people that are getting big now that were in it for so long, making songs for so long. Just like I said, like probably making really bad songs for a long time that no one else gets to hear, but you just get better and better and better. And eventually, yeah, the snowball just rolls down the hill.
Does it ever, is it always still so exciting when songs that you've worked on come on the radio? Or like
Every
come
time,
on at the club?
every time. Has not gotten old one time. I always feel like I'm like, oh, whoa, cool. Like it's never gotten old. And I hope it never does.
Me too.
When it does, I quit.
Like, is there anything that you want to promote, shout out, say anything at all?
To all the artists that work with me, I'm very grateful for them because no songwriter producer is anything without the artist. And I'm very grateful for the people that trust me and let me in the room with them and listen to my ideas, even if they tell me that they're terrible sometimes. That's the only person to shout out.
When I started this series, it was to shine a light on the people and stories behind music, movies, and media. But as I've gotten more into this, I started this by working at a call center and like making videos in my room, like taking my like crappy iPhone, recording my crappy MacBook Pro screen, and like.
And look at you now, baby.
I'm in the room with Blake.
We're having a fireside date. We're on a date.
Facts. And one of the most important things I've learned is that the best way to start is just by doing it and to like manifest it. And like the manifestation of like having, like when you said earlier, I'm going to be mentored and work with Benny the same way that I was like, I'm going to have a vision board and then interview all these people. And I want to say thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
It
Man.
means the world.
I think what you do is incredible.
Thank you.
Truly, I think you're great at what you do.
That means the world. To like the main part of this series is what I said, to shine a light on people and the stories behind music and movies and media, but it's also to inspire every underdog to go for it. And it's been super incredible to see your story, to see you just continue to go for it. And I am so excited to hopefully have more conversations in the future. But those will be a little bit more graceful. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thank you very much. Oh, can I read it now?
Yeah.
Do you want me to wait?
You can. I mean, my handwriting kind of sucks.
Aw. Handwritten notes are a lost art.
I've noticed they mean a ton.
Oh, thanks, man.
Dude,
You're the best.
thank you.
Thanks for coming. I'm very honored to be on here.
100%. It has been an honor to watch your story, to watch everything you've done, and hopefully many more conversations in the future.
Let's keep doing it.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for watching Behind the Wall. Check out all of Blake's music. It'll be in the description. And catch you next time. Amazing.
Perfect. That was
We're
fun.
out.
That was
love
great.
it. You did great.
Thank you. So did you. Great conversation. That was fun.